As Gloucestershire prepared for their crucial meeting with Bristol City Council to decide on whether to ratify their plans for redevelopment of their county ground, their players had a magnificent first day against the LV County Championship Second Division leaders Derbyshire. Conditions again looked ideal for batting in, and when Wayne Madsen won the call at the toss, he would have expected his side to score heavily once again, especially as the in-form Martin Guptill got going with a succession of boundaries in the first half a dozen overs. David Payne, back from injury, then produced a ball with some bounce to surprise Guptill, who played on after scoring 15 of the 19 runs on the board. It was the first delivery of Payne's fine spell. It was a great return for the left-armer, who in the same over also saw the back of Guptill's opening partner Matt Lineker, with the thinnest of edges behind. Payne wasn't the only bowler to cause problems. Ian Saxelby nearly had Madsen dragging the ball back on, while even someone in the form of Wes Durston could do nothing against deliveries such as this peach. Durston and Madsen had to grit their teeth and wait for the bad ball to arrive, which wasn't that often. Both of these batsmen have scored plenty of runs of late, which has helped their side open up a 26-point gap at the top of the second division table with two successive three-day victories. But they were finding the going tough in Bristol and slipped to 45 for 3 in the first hour, after Payne had Madsen taken it slip by Chris Dent for his third wicket in his super spell. One of the most dramatic matches ever seen at this ground was between these two sides a couple of years ago, when the visitors were bowled out for 44 in their first innings, but still won by 54 runs. Nothing as extraordinary as that was happening this time, as Durston and Dan Redfern took the total to 63, but more drama was just around the corner. Will Gidman returned to the attack and suddenly claimed 3 wickets for no runs in the space of 7 balls. He had Redfern caught in the deep by Saxelby off a misplaced pull shot. He then saw Durston flash at a wide one to edge to Chris Dent, who alas broke a finger in spite of holding on to remove the danger man for 18. And finally David Wainwright lost his off peg, as there were no fielders required this time. It was sensational stuff from Gidman, who'd helped reduce Derbyshire to 63 for 6. Hardly the plan after they won the toss only a couple of hours before. The visitors do bat some way down their order though, so they still wouldn't have given up hope of turning things around through Ross Whiteley and John Clare. What they didn't want was to lose any more wickets before lunch, but instead they went to the break 8 down. Clare nicked another Jaffa from Saxelby behind on 7. And Tom Poynton gave Gidman a 4th wicket with a nick behind as Derbyshire went to the break on 83 for 8. Having got themselves into such a mess in the morning, things actually went from bad to worse at the start of the afternoon session. Whiteley was run out after a mix-up with Tony Palladino, who then ran himself out as he raced through for a suicidal single, only to be beaten by Will Gidman. In just 32.2 overs, Derbyshire had been dismissed for just 95. Gidman taking 4 for 29 and Payne 3 for 23. With Dent unable to bat, indeed he'll be out of action for a while now, Gloucestershire called on Jonathan Batty to open the innings for them, but he fell in the 3rd over of the reply. This time it was Palladino who found some extra bounce with the new cherry. Surely we weren't going to see something similar to those events of 2 summers ago, when an incredible 24 wickets fell on the opening day, in a game which didn't even last 5 sessions. Benny Howell and Kane Williamson tried their hardest to avoid that, but a 12th wicket had gone before 3 o'clock as Howell got an edge to another fine ball from Tim Grunewald to be held by Durston. With Gloucestershire on 28 for 2, those 12 wickets in the day had come at a cost of only 123 runs in total, and those at the ground were probably expecting many more before the close. Gloucestershire have in their ranks a 21-year-old who's seen things like this before, and Williamson, who scored a brilliant 100 in testing conditions against South Africa in Wellington earlier in the year, was the man who finally brought an end to the mayhem. He received the necessary support from his captain Alex Gidman, and between them these two started to grab this match by the scruff of its neck. In fairness to Gidman, it was Williamson who shone out at this stage, and his 10th 4 brought him to his 50 off 95 balls after spending an age stuck in the 40s. For the man who's already hit 200s in 5 championship innings this summer, it was another excellent contribution. He and Gidman had taken their side ahead already with only 2 wickets down, but the lead standing at 14, the Kiwi was out for 56, well held by Poynton off the bowling of Groenewald. The home side wanted to make sure that they finished a day they dominated strongly, and so they would have been pleased that they now had Hamish Marshall strolling to the crease. Marshall has hit his best form of late and got his innings rolling with 2 effortless boundaries off Groenewald. Gidman too was not going to let Derbyshire back in. On such a big day for his county off the pitch, he was to ensure that this was a very good one on it, and a special one for him and his brother. Not to be outdone by Will, Alex completed his second 50 of the summer off his 125th delivery. This well-timed flick off his legs brought him his 5th boundary in what was a very big innings for his side. It would have been just about a perfect day for Gloucestershire had they not lost 2 wickets right at the end. Marshall's was the crucial one for Derbyshire. Having eased to 31, he played a ball from Whiteley back onto his stumps, and the night watchman Liam Norwell followed 2 overs later as Whiteley switched to around the wicket to have him caught behind. But Gidman stayed in, and by the close he'd helped himself to 72 runs to put his side in total control against a team which has not lost a game this season. They will now do well to avoid a defeat here, although there is of course still a long way to go. Gloucestershire will resume on the second day on 182 for 5, 87 runs ahead, and possibly with the news that they can now soon start developing their ground in order to maintain international status in the future.